In this exercise, we're going to be placing balloons that go along with our parts list. We're going to be continuing on the Battery Pack Revision 3 IDW that we just created and edited the parts list. We're going to go to the Annotative tab. Over to the far right, we have the Balloons option, and you'll notice we have an Auto Balloon. It's one of the funner commands. To me, anything's fun that saves me lots of time. I've spent hours and hours doing something that I just thought, I can't believe there's not a tool to automatically do it. And then once I find these magic tools, I'm like a kid in a candy shop. Just because this saves us so much time being able to go through and automatically place these in here. First thing it asks us is to select which drawing view we're going to add, and then what component. I window the whole thing. You notice I have it toggled on to ignore multiple instances. What that means is we have 8 screws in here. We don't need 8 balloons, one for each screw. We just need 1 balloon for all those screws. And then the next option we have is how do we want the balloons to show up? Do we want them to be just horizontal? If I hit select placement, it'll show them to me. All just be horizontal, all vertical. I found that usually placing them around does the best job. By no means does putting them around it do a good job. Just does the best job. And you'll see what I mean as soon as I pick a point. I do have the options for some BOM settings and things in here that are grayed out right now because I only have the parts only BOM setting. So I don't have the option to go through and do a structured view. I only have the parts only. I do have the ability to come in here and override the default balloon shape. But if you're going to take the time to set up the styles for the balloons, you probably want to have the same one every time. So I get the balloons kind of where I want them just by moving my mouse around. You see how it kind of figures it out. Drop it in there and you hit apply or OK. You can see it does a halfway decent job. It just doesn't do a great job. So you get most everything you need. If you need additional balloons, you can come up and you can still come in here and say, hey, I want to label this one. Even though there's already one in there, I want to label another one. Some of the stuff that doesn't show up good, you can come in here and manually add. Once you get all of your balloons in here, you can start editing them. And you can see sometimes it misses things. For instance, it missed our case here. And then what I always try to do is I come in here, I try to make everything show up as best as possible. So what I'll do is I'll grab my arrow and I'll get it to the far outside edge so it shows up, especially if you're using a shaded view like this. Put everything in here. And then I'll start rearranging my balloons. Now you do notice that it came in here and it messed me up because the 7 here, because I had that turned off just to show you that. So I'll override that. And I'll renumber them so they're all in order. Because I like my balloons to go through order. This bumper here, even though I have it turned off, I put a balloon on it. And it's going to show up as number 8 because even though it's turned off inside of there, it's still number 8. In real world, if you didn't have it on there, you wouldn't want to show it. So we take that balloon off. We could come in here and start aligning things. Click on those little green dots there. Remember the little green men. And then we can do things like right click and tell it to attach a balloon from the list. So say our silicone, add it to here. So now I'm adding silicone there. I'm going to add silicone on my batteries as well. I can come in here. I can grab this one and basically drag it across so that it lines up with the other one. If I want all these to line up here, what I can do is I can select multiples, right click, say align these vertically, and it'll bring them all together. I can also come in here and say vertical offset, so it will put them evenly spaced, so you get a nice straight row. So you can do the same thing over here. Say align, vertical offset, it'll bring everything in nice and tight. These I just eyeballed in with the dotted line or the snap line. But if I wanted to get them exact, I can. So now I have these balloons. I have these additional options in here. I can come in here and say remove balloon, and it's going to go through and remove out that extra balloon for me. If I did have this on, I right click and I say remove balloon, I can actually remove the original balloon. So if I had, silicone or something and I didn't have a way to do it, I could put an extra balloon on there and actually remove it. The other thing you'll notice, if you bring a leader over a part like this, instead of it snapping to a line, it'll change it to a dot for you to kind of highlight, hey, this is the part I'm talking about. I don't really like that too much, but very rarely do you actually balloon out a shaded drawing like this. But if you do, it works out really well for the shaded drawings, but I like the arrows whenever possible. The other options we have, if you select multiples, you can come in here and we can multiple edit the leaders and the vertexes at the same time, all the standard stuff. We could actually attach the balloon from list and they could all get silicone or Loctite or whatever it needs to be. We can do more than one. It's not necessary that you lock it down to just that one. You can do several of them at a time. So you can see that ballooning is very easy to do, and it's also one of the funner things to do. So try to do the balloons, play with it some, and see what you can come up with for an exploded view drawing like this. You can also see how powerful it would be even if it's not an exploded view, if you just have an assembly view, if you can see all your parts. But this is why you do these exploded views. When you start doing the ballooning, you need something where you can get in there to all the nooks and crannies and be able to show everybody what the balloons are pointing to. So play with this, see what you can do, and have some fun with it. And save it out as Battery Pack Revision 3 when you're done with everything. The last 3 or 4 videos here are all going to use the same drawing. You're going to continue on from one to the other with these. So if you've closed it out, you can reopen it and try this.